In the DiversAsia project, we know that students with disabilities have limited access to higher education in Asia, in universities in India and Bangladesh. Our project aims to tackle the barriers to participation in higher education by making very accessible open and distance learning, very accessible open education resources and massively open online courses. So in order to tackle those barriers to participation, we're making very accessible open education resources and also massively open online courses so that students with disability can increase their participation in higher education in India and Bangladesh. As part of the toolkit to increase participation of students with disabilities in higher education in India and Bangladesh, we have a validation toolkit. This allows us to check the current level of accessibility of open and distance learning materials and make recommendations for their further improvement in terms of their accessibility. In order to support the further inclusion of students with disabilities, we're looking towards disruptive technologies. How can we use virtual reality, augmented reality to really demonstrate situations and places to students with disabilities that they might not ordinarily have access to? We use machine learning as well, so we can understand the stages related to learning. So if a student is working on electronic materials, and we look at their eye gaze via cameras and their facial features and machine learning, we can understand whether those students are engaged, bored, or frustrated in learning, and then we can take appropriate steps to re-engage them in learning, because we know without engagement there will be no deep learning.
So as a part of the DiversAsia project, we are also planning to develop an engagement monitoring app, and as a part of this engagement monitoring app, we are going to use cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and advanced data analytics. So what we are trying to do in there is that we are trying to monitor the students' expressions, their gaze, through videos, and these videos could be recorded by a webcam, by a camera which is equipped in the mobile device, or any camera which is available in a laptop. Now additionally, we are also going to track the eye gaze information of these students, that how and where they are looking at in the materials presented on the screen, and we are also trying to see that how they are interacting with those materials in terms of their browsing history, in terms of how they are interacting with those specific materials in the presented on the screen, and then we are taking those information from the devices. We are sending them to these advanced data analytics technologies which will be driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning, and we will be running or developing individual models for analyzing those data and identify whether the students are engaged with the materials presented to them or not.
what is the expected impact of DiversAsia project?
I think it's mostly knowledge exchange, experience exchange, and we can, let's say, we can give knowledge which we already collected in some countries and the exchanges with our partners, but we also can get know what are their problems. But because we sometimes look at some situations from our perspective, but here in this project we see not only our perspective, we see different countries' perspective, and yeah, I think we can build a better environment, better higher education, and give hope for those who don't have access until now, and they will get it maybe in near future.
So what is the added value in this cooperation for you?
Added value for me personally, I would say I really like international projects because I like to meet people, because I like to understand new angles of knowledge which I already have, but I can see different perspective here. But mostly for me personally, it would be people that I already know from different projects, people I didn't know before this project. But if we speak about me as a professional, then it comes to this knowledge and understanding of different perspectives. But so personal and professional, so it's a bit different, but also.
So what aspects of inclusive education definitely need improvement?
Oh, I would say it depends on country, on higher education institution, and culture, and it can be, for example, if we are using digital learning materials, we have to look that these materials are accessible for all students. If we are talking about environment, we have to look and buildings, are they accessible? Are elevators accessible? Students can enter the building, students can understand how to move around. Also, we can look from gender perspective, if we are talking about cultural differences, for example, is higher education available for girls, women, or only for young male? So these are quite different questions, and if we spot, for example, a European country which are working with inclusive education, maybe they have only few issues to solve, to give support for students. If we are looking for example, Afghanistan, there are different contexts. We should think about women, we should think about students with special needs, we should think about access to knowledge and to higher education. So I would say it's always context-based. Of course, there are basic knowledge of inclusive education, but also context.
What is the current status of inclusive higher education in India, in particular Vellore?
Yeah, as far as I am concerned, most of the people are not aware that people are having so many learning disabilities. As Indians, and in particular Vellore, people think that only the people with disabilities are maybe handicapped people, right? I mean, people don't know that there are some people who have some kind of difficulties, like people may not understand some words, people may be finding it difficult to write down the numbers, to read them. Yeah, these kind of things we are not, I mean, most of the Indians, and in particular Vellore, I mean, people are not aware of it. So, you know, there is a lot of scope for inclusiveness in higher education, so that, you know, people with learning disabilities may be benefited, and yeah, they can feel that yes, they are part of this mainstream. they will have equal opportunities as well.
So what aspects of inclusive higher education you think definitely need improvement?
Yes, very good question. The first important thing is awareness. Awareness that, and making the people with learning disabilities feel comfortable. Awareness is one thing, and the peers, the normal people, what we call them, they also should be made aware that yes, these guys are having some problems with understanding the stuff, and they should also help their peers. And also the awareness about the assistive technologies. I mean, that is very much lacking. People don't know that there are some technologies that they can use.
What is the expected impact of the DiversAsia project?
The DiversAsia project, the main thing it did is it created a lot of awareness. Even our colleagues, our dean, as you might have seen in the meetings, in the workshop meetings, they were saying that we have understood what these people go through. So we will take some kind of measures now to address their needs as well. It has a very huge impact, especially in VIT, and we'll try to pass this benefit on to other institutes as well. We'll try to create awareness so that other institutes also will be aware of all these assistive technologies, and we'll try to make the life of the students with learning disabilities better.
How do you experience the cooperation with European partners?
You guys are awesome. I didn't expect that there will be a lot of communication. We made a lot of friends. We have learned a lot of stuff from you guys. Thank you all for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
What is the current status of inclusive higher education in India and in particular Vellore?
Currently in India, according to my observations, the inclusive education is tremendously improving good compared to the studies when I had in the 20 years before and all that, because the technologies are completely growing up, and new technologies have come for the different kind of disability people. So, but again, there is so much of scope from the government perspective also. It is required, and so much of advertisement is required, so much of awareness where different set of NGOs people have to bring to the needy people, and that is still is having a gap. But as I mentioned, when I was having my studies and now completely a tremendous change has happened. So recently there is one policy called NEP 2020, which is new education policy, where our central government, even our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, wanted none of the students who are having disability should not miss their education, not only in schooling and also in higher education. And our Chancellor is very much focused in bringing the students, whoever are having different kind of disabilities, to the institutions. So he is giving a lot of awareness through conducting various programs within the Tamil Nadu region.
And what aspects of inclusive higher education definitely need improvement?
The awareness has come in a very good way, but still into the villages, the people are the disabled students, whoever are having, still the technologies are not reaching to the villages, the rural places. As far as urban areas, the metro cities and the good cities of India, where technologies and people are getting used and all that. But also when you see, when our chief guest in the program 2 days workshop, Mr. Dharmarajan, he was having his vision till 35 years, and right now he is 64 years. So during the time the technologies were very, very minimal. And they had a lot of difficulties. That is what he told. But now there are so many technologies which have come, but still it is not reaching to the rural place, I mean villages. So those students and those kind of learners having still more difficulty because the technologies are not reaching to them.
And what is the expected impact of the DiversAsia project?
Yeah, with respect to DiversAsia project, there is a lot of scope now where in the 2 days workshop, where the different set of participants have understood like what exactly the differently abled students need, kind of different technologies with the different speakers, whatever they have given, their sessions. From that, there are so many participants have understood clearly, okay, these are the specific technologies are required, let us say for dyslexia or for autism, and there are different kinds of screen readers are there for the people who are having visually impaired and all of that. So I hope definitely DiversAsia project will bring lot of scope and lot of advertisements towards to the people who are having disability in their learning environment.
And how do you experience the cooperation with the European partners?
The European Commission is doing very good to many of the countries. As we see in our DiversAsia project, there are different partners from the different countries. Almost 8 countries people are involved, and from there each and every the province of each and every India or maybe Bangladesh or in Latvia, any other country people are definitely getting the good information and good funding. See, as long as there is a good funding, then only the things can start, and also advertising and awareness can be given. Without funding, without conducting programs like workshops or conferences, the news will not reach to the public. So it's really a good opportunity to work in European Commission, along with European Commission. So the partners in this project, Latvia, then Bulgaria, Belgium, even from Bulgaria, Naru is a very good supportive for the students who are having disability. Like they are having different kind of systems where they are encouraging the students, and different kind of training programs they are arranging. So whenever these kind of programs are being arranged, then definitely the awareness will be very good. But that is where missing in some of the rural places. Not only in India, I can say, any place, any country if you take, obviously the awareness will be very less. Only in the cities the awareness is good.